In the video today, we're going to be discussing the 3-5-2 formation and how we can utilize that depending on the players we have available. We're always going to encourage our coaches to select a formation that suits their personnel and the opposing team that they're playing and level of competition to have a chance at success that day. So starting out of the back, we have our one goalkeeper, our three defenders, our five players in the midfield, and our two strikers. If we look at these three players here, typically these are going to be players that are more like center backs rather than one center back and two defenders. So they've got the characteristics of being able to win the ball, but they also have to be able to cover a lot of space. Okay. Now if we progress into the midfield, we've put three players in the midfield and some different ways that we can organize it. Depending on the quality of our players and their strengths, we may play with two defensive midfielders and one attacking. We may play with two attacking and one defending, but that's ultimately going to come down to the personnel available to you. Okay, these players as wingers or actually as wing backs are often the most misunderstood element in your 3-5-2 formation. Okay, and so what we're thinking about with these players is that in possession, okay, they are asked to be nice and wide and ready to join the attack. Okay, but when we lose possession, they're actually going to tuck themselves in, okay, and start to look more like a fullback, okay, than actually a winger. And so if we look at this player, this dynamic as it progresses up the field, this winger, red team, opposing team has the ball. This player that was playing in the wing back position starts to look more like a defender. We have our three center backs, but we're also going to likely be asking our far side wing back to be tucking in. And so people will often think that 3-5-2 is inherently offensive because we only list these three defenders or three center backs. But actually, when we're out of possession, it may be that we have five defensive players clearly identified with clear roles and expectations to them. Okay, so we really want to encourage these players to be able to cover a lot of ground and quickly identify in a loss of possession that they need to get themselves into a good defensive position in order to support working as a five when not in possession. Okay, last players that we'll talk about are our strikers. So again, depending on the skill set of our strikers, we may ask that one player plays higher up the field. Generally, this player is going to have a more physical dominance. They're probably good at holding up the ball or winning the ball in the air. And this player is likely working off of them, moving into space, supporting them to bounce back. Okay, and they're probably a little bit quicker or maybe a clever player. So again, today's video was talking about 3-5-2 formation and selecting it if that's the best formation based on the personnel that you have available that day, your opposition, and also fitting into your training strategies as well.